Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we had some absolutely massive news coming out of the LEC that we're going to be talking about. Really, today was one of those days where we had a bunch of big stories coming out, but obviously we have to start somewhere. We have to start with just one of them. And I don't really understand why we keep having these days where like 3, 4, 5, 6 stories all come out at once. It seems like, we'll have a couple days of absolutely nothing, and then one day where just a bunch of bombs happen. So it's just kind of crazy. It makes it hard for me to cover every single thing at once, but I will be making videos about all the big stuff that happened today. But again, where we're going to be starting is going back to G2, going back to Rekkles, where I know I talked about in my live stream a little bit that all signs, at least from what I was hearing, were pointing more towards Rekkles potentially staying with G2. Again, it wasn't 100% done. It wasn't 100% likely, but that seemed like where the rumors were heading. But today, we had a big bomb drop out of nowhere that is really changing everything regarding the Rekkles situation. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. And consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm, if you guys want to help support my channel, me, and my content just a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into this one. So the big bomb that actually came out today was this from Bloop, obviously one of the best investigative reporters for .esports. He said, sources, Rekkles will not be a part of G2 Esports LEC team in 2022. He's not saying, he might be out. G2's shopping him. There's a chance he won't return. He is saying Rekkles will not be on G2 in 2022. Period. This is crazy. This is insane. This is, first of all, again, from a guy like Bloop, who doesn't usually get a lot of stuff wrong. Esports, as far as journalism, rumors, all that stuff, they are the most respected journalists in the world by pretty much everybody. Bloop and Wolf, say what you will about them. I don't necessarily love everything they do. I don't agree with everything they say or do, but these guys have the best sources. They make sure they get, multiple different sources hitting them with news and rumors before they, go out with the story. They get verifications. For Bloop to be saying that Rekkles will not be a part of G2 in 2022, this is a big deal. The other part to this is that the relationship between the two is frayed, which obviously tells me there's a little bit of drama between G2 and Rekkles going on, which is spicy, which is interesting. And then he also says that Team Vitality showed interest in the player, but for now, G2 is not open to talking with them, which is again another interesting thing, because if G2 is not going to have Rekkles in 2022, Rekkles needs to go somewhere, and if it's not to Vitality, then where is he going to go? This is obviously one of the questions that is going to be popping up. Now, again, the reason I was saying I thought that G2 and Rekkles were likely to be staying together in 2022 is from everything that I was hearing behind the scenes. All the rumors, all the sources, people were saying it was seeming more and more likely that G2 was going to be hanging on to him. We heard the leaks of the potential buyouts, and that was buyouts for Wonder, for Grabs, for Mickey. Rekkles wasn't on that list. It didn't seem like G2 was actively shopping Rekkles around, at least as much as some of these other players. He obviously still has a buyout in his contract. There is still some discussions going on, but it seemed like they were going to be keeping him. And again, I don't think those rumors were necessarily wrong. It seems like things have changed. How Bloop here is talking about the relationship being frayed, it seems like that is a new thing going on. So in this article, he actually goes into this a little bit further. He said G2 is now in the process of selling Rekkles' contract with the Engine 2023. That's a pretty big deal. Rekkles is always going to be a very valuable player, but the fact that he still has 2 years left on his deal, that's going to make things even more expensive. That's going to make things even crazier, trying to get a Rekkles buyout done. He said the relationship between G2 and Rekkles is frayed after a season that saw the European Dynasty fail to earn a spot in the World Championships for the first time since it qualified for, obviously, the EULCS, the LEC, whatever. He said Rekkles, this is the interesting part. This is the very spicy part to me. This is the big deal. Rekkles was set to attend the 2021 World Championship Group Draw Show on September 22nd to represent G2 as a special guest. Now, to me, that says a couple things. One, at that point, the Rekkles and G2 relationship must have been pretty good. It also shows me that if they were choosing him, they had Caps, they have Yankos, they have Rekkles. If they were choosing to send Rekkles, that must have mean, at least to some extent, not 100% sure, but to some extent, that they saw a future with Rekkles, that I think they were leaning towards hanging on to him. You know, if that's the guy they're choosing to represent their brand, that's the guy they're choosing to go represent them, you know, in this world show. But obviously, that did not happen. What we got instead was Jankos going. And what he says here, at the last minute, and as a result of these tense negotiations between the two, the AD carry didn't participate, according to sources. Instead, G2 arranged for Jankos to replace him. So that is very, very interesting to me. You know, that is a big piece of drama that's kind of getting lost in this article that I don't see as many people talking about. It seems like the G2 Rekkles relationship was good, you know, as such a short time ago as leading up to the world, group picks, whatever you call it, the world group show. Again, September 22nd, a couple days before then, it seems like, because I know Jankos was saying, like, just a couple days before, you know, oh, I gotta head to Berlin, oh, you know, like, unexpected change of plans or whatever. So this is, you know, within the last 2 weeks, it seems like this relationship has really, really gone downhill. And now at this point, it looks like G2 is trying out a bunch of different AD carries. A bunch of different craziness is going on. They do say that G2 isn't open to negotiating with this org at the time, talking about Team Vitality. But Carlos has actually come out and said that he's not negotiating with Team Vitality because none of his players want to go to Team Vitality, which is very, very interesting because not only does that mean that Rekkles doesn't want to go to Vitality, but that means at least at this point that Mickey, Wonder, you know, none of his players want to go to Team Vitality. And there's been a lot of the G2 players linked to that roster, obviously. And yeah, that's kind of a big blow for Team Vitality. Kind of, you know, really, really spicy to hear Carlos come out and say publicly. But yeah, G2 is going to be trying out new AD carries. Who knows where they're going to be, going there. And who knows why exactly this G2 and Rekkles relationship turned so bad so fast. That's where a lot of the speculation is. I've heard some people, talking about maybe it's because once he heard that G2 was poaching Carzzy, that could be something that obviously pissed Rekkles off a little bit. I don't know what all the different circumstances are. But now Rekkles is in a really, really weird spot. Where's he going to end up next season? In the article, Bloop also says that China is still not off the table for Rekkles. You know, him ending up in Ninjas and Pajamas is absolutely still a realistic possibility and something we could very easily and very well see in 2022, which I think would be very, very spicy. Obviously, they said, North American options are still on the table as well as teams in Europe. But as of this date, we don't have any concrete evidence, rumors, anything like that as a clear favorite in the Rekkles, saga or whatever you want to call it, the Rekkles sweepstakes for 2022. But at this moment, all we know and all it's looking like is that Rekkles will not be on G2 in 2022. I mean, Bloop went out as far as to say, I'm 100% confident on Rekkles leaving. He said, as far as the blocking conversations, sources close to both parties told him that this was happening. Carlos claims that it's not. He's going to check again and see if he was wrong. But again, he is 100% confident on Rekkles leaving G2. And all of a sudden, this offseason, just keeps getting spicier and spicier. A ton of crazy stuff going on. And I can't wait to see what happens. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. Where do you think Rekkles is going to end up in 2022? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.